On the news, Senate interacts with heads of security chiefs.
Funds will be released expeditiously for the purchase of those gadgets that are going to assist our service chiefs.
House of Representatives passes resolution to stop ongoing recruitment of judges.
Ebonyi, Abia, Imo, and Bayelsa do not have a single indigene from their states appointed and sitting in the FCT High Court system.
Plus, NEMA distributes relief materials to victims of flood in Gombe.
I feel, honored by this gesture done to us by the federal government.
A warm welcome to NTA Parliament News, reaching you from the nation's capital city, Abuja. I am Ene Ojonugba. After about 10 hours of marathon interaction with the security echelon of the nation, the Senate is assuring Nigerians that it will not condone any lapse in executing mandates of securing lives and property of the citizenry. National Assembly correspondent Mohammed Rabiu Ali reports that the session was held behind closed doors.
Stepping into the Red Chamber are service chiefs and other security echelon on a serious business considering the insecurity being experienced in parts of the country. After extensive interaction of more than 9 hours bordering on reported killings, kidnapping, and other criminal activities bedeviling the country, Senate President Godswill Akpabio reads the resolutions.
The Senate listened to the efforts of the security chiefs, particularly the serious improvement in their operations nationwide. The Senate was impressed that almost 90% of perpetrators of heinous crimes in the country, including the ones recently reported in Buhari, in Abuja, have been apprehended. The Senate thereafter commends Mr. President for his determination and focus on ensuring the security of lives and properties.
The Senate also recommends for the service chiefs and other security agencies to improve on intelligence sharing and adopt synergy in their operations.
The Senate is hopeful that the suggestions made to the security chiefs and the interactions so far will help to bring about a better Nigeria and a more secure nation, and urges them to go with all the suggestions made here and the revelations received here, use them as template for future actions. Is this a true reflection of what transpired in the closed committee of the whole?
Yes. Then we get the assurances of our border patrol that today the borders must be manned and manned seriously, and that we need more men to man the borders. So we got that assurances. We got the assurances that, yes, from the Minister of Finance, that funds will be released expeditiously for the purchase of those gadgets that are going to assist our service chiefs and our security men to perform their duties very, very effectively.
Also at Tuesday's plenary, 3 senators were sworn in to replace the vacant seats of Yobe East Senatorial District, Ebonyi South, and Plateau North. From the National Assembly, Mohammed Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
The House of Representatives has passed a resolution asking the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, Abuja, to hold the ongoing recruitment of judges to fill vacancies in high courts of the FCT. Adopting a motion by Representatives Igawere Enwo, the House mandated its Committee on Judiciary to investigate the federal character approval of the recruitment process and report back to the House for further legislative action. National Assembly correspondent Mitari Ikpen reports on these and other deliberations at plenary.
Citing lack of compliance with the federal character principle and quota system, the House picked holes in the proposed list of states to fill 12 vacant positions in the FCT High Courts.
Whereas every state of the Federation has judges from their respective states appointed in the FCT High Court system, 4 states, namely Ebonyi, Abia, Imo, and Bayelsa, do not have a single indigene from their states appointed and sitting in the FCT High Court system. Worried that Ebonyi State, in particular, is doubly discriminated against in that it has none of its judges appointed in the high courts of the FCT.
It was different strokes for different folks as the House debated a bill to make first degree or its equivalent the minimum educational qualification for election into political offices. The bill was stepped down for further consultations. However, other bills scaled second reading.
To increase the penalty for offenses of female genital mutilation in our country.
To amend the Agricultural Research Council of Nigerian Act to provide for establishment of Federal Institute of Fisheries Research in Bununu, Tafa Balewa local government of Bauchi State.
Other infrastructure motions and the need to monitor increased FAC allocations to states were adopted.
State governors have refused to complement the federal government poverty amelioration efforts. Urge the Ecological Fund Office to immediately commence remediation work to address the erosion problem by building drainage in the affected areas in Bashidu Federal Constituency.
Lawmakers also called for drastic action against health facilities still refusing to treat accident or gunshot patients without police reports. From the National Assembly, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
Effective legislation is needed for Nigeria to get it right in addressing challenges in the power sector before the year 2030. This was the position of leadership of the National Assembly at the first annual Legislative Summit on Renewable Energy organized by the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies in collaboration with Asola Energy. Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports.
The value of electricity to economic growth and development of every nation is becoming more apparent by the day. Nigeria is not an exception, considering the efforts made by the successive administrations for more access to electricity, its affordability and sustainability. This meeting of key players is one of the ways to explore effective usage of renewable energy in Nigeria, backed the laws of the land.
The recent passage of the Electricity Act 2023 and the Constitution of Treasury Act 2023 have provided us with an unprecedented opportunity to harness the potentials of renewable energy and revolutionize the way we power this blessed nation.
The Electricity Act 2023 extended this movement to its core for the privatization of renewable energy and empowerment of state and local governments to set up their own legal framework and even invest directly in renewable energy.
And what we need is for the legislature, we need for you to give us back what you think, how efficient it is. Do we need to tweak the law to make it a little better? So we in these parts that have some of these sources of renewable energy, how well are we doing to harness them?
At the end of the summit, key players believe that far-reaching recommendations will be brought forward to improve on the power generation and distribution, as well as provide sustainable approaches and targeted collaborations from domestic and international investors in renewable energy usage. In Abuja, Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
The exclusion of people with special needs in the scheme of things will soon be over, as President Bola Ahmed Tinubu directed all ministries, departments and agencies to engage them in decision-making process. This news is coming from the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Needs and Equal Opportunities, Abba Issa Mohammed, at a one-day national strategic policy discourse on the inclusion of people with special needs in governance. Again, Mohammed Rabiu Ali reports.
People with special needs are part of the society and have responsibility in nation building. Challenges ranging from discrimination, exploitation, violence, and stigma, among other impediments, exclude this set of Nigerians from achieving their goals. This meeting is to rub minds on how best to address exclusion of people with special needs in decision-making process, in governance, and implementation of the laws to that effect.
We'll be going around NTAs, including the mayors that have even taken the lead to bring us together here today. So I know of it will be very glad to work with you to ensure that we have a disability policy here, not just for your organization, but that transcends here to other parastatals within your reach.
I will still run until I win. And I'm encouraging women with disabilities in this room to also run. Join political parties and be involved actively.
I want to assure you that whatever we resolve here as resolutions, we shall take it to all the National Assembly leadership. And beyond that, when I need for more conversation, especially with some critical stakeholders, the corporate organization, the political party, we shall avail you that opportunity.
Others call for children inclusion and the need to move from exclusion to participation and representation. It is expected that at the end of the discourse, inclusivity will come to play and change the narrative for the better.
The House of Representatives Committee on Public Accounts is dissatisfied with the documents submitted by the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investments over alleged mismanagement of 75 billion naira allocated to it as COVID-19 intervention fund. National Assembly correspondent Joshua Ogunjide has more.
After failure to honor its invitation for 3 consecutive times, the committee, in its resolution, ordered the ministry to refund the 75 billion naira allocated to it as intervention fund for coronavirus.
Why do they think that we should reconsider our position? That look, the ministry, because I was thinking the ministry is coming here to tell us, yes, they have paid back the money to CRF, and this is the receipt. But I'm surprised they are talking something else.
And what's my evidence that they had no account? 1, 2, 3 invitations, they didn't show up. So based on that, the law enforcement goes on. The rules are clear. No more funding. And then those officers involved, they are arrested and they face the law. The law gives us the power to issue the warrant of arrest.
Presenting documents as answers to queries on the allocated fund, Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Nura Abba Rimi, said he inherited both assets and liabilities of the ministry on resumption of office.
And I must also apologize for making our representation later than it should have been. This is due to the fact that while I'm new, we also have to get some of the people who were in office while the Survival Fund scheme was disbursed.
The letter of invitation and asking for documents was specific about the need for you to even submit procurement records. You talked about beneficiaries in their thousands. Who are they? They are human beings. They should have data. Where is their data? People that you said, the BOI or whoever paid all this money into. And then this document was submitted on Saturday, 10th of February. When even the opportunity I gave you was that you make a submission and make that submission later by the 5th of February.
Summoning the managing director of the Bank of Industry, the committee unanimously resolved to allow the agency to resubmit its report, this time round a complete document addressing issues within 7 working days. From the National Assembly, Joshua Ogunjide, NTA News.
We will now go on a commercial break. More stories coming your way. Please don't go away.
Are you looking for a short channel to make your business, goods and services go viral? Look no further, as NTA Parliament is your sure channel. Take advantage of our wider reach and advertise your products and services on NTA Parliament DSTV channel 370, GoTV channel 126, StarTimes channel 306, and Free TV channel 706. For more inquiries, contact the Marketing Department, NTA Parliament, NTA Headquarters Area 11 Garki Abuja, or call these numbers 080-383-40464 or 080-770-78055. NTA Parliament, strengthening Nigeria's democracy.
Welcome back. Efforts by the member representing Yamautu Deba Federal Constituency Inuwa Garba on the plight of last year's flood victims in his constituency has yielded positive results. This followed the provision of relief materials worth millions of naira to the victims by the National Emergency Management Agency. Abbas Mikeno reports.
People of that Inko community of Gombe State were among the victims of last year's devastating flood, where many houses and farmlands were destroyed by the disaster. This resulted to prompt action of the member representing the area at the National Assembly, Inuwa Garba, as he drew the attention of the House to the need for relief materials to the victims.
The disaster destroyed about 3 rooms, in addition to so many properties in our house. Many of us suffered from the flood disaster recorded last year in that Inko community.
Provided by the National Emergency Management Agency, the items include assorted foodstuff, building materials, and house utensils.
When Yamal Tudeba had flood disaster in 2023, he is a member representing the constituency. So he took the burden down to the Committee on Disaster Management in the House of Representatives.
I am excited and I feel, honored by this gesture done to us by the federal government through NEMA.
Over 600 victims of the 2023 flood disaster in that Inko community are expected to benefit from the gesture. In Gombe, Abbas Mekano, NTA News.
The Speaker, Nasarawa State House of Assembly, Danladi Jatau, has reassured members that the House under his leadership will remain united, irrespective of political parties' differences. He stated this at the swearing-in ceremony of 2 members that won the February 3rd rerun elections in their respective state constituencies. Adams Abdul Kadri tells us more.
Nasarawa State House of Assembly reconvened after 7 weeks of Christmas recess. Speaker Danladi Jatau welcomed members that won their rerun elections conducted in 5 polling units at Agaza Ward, Kana State constituency, Muhammad Omadefo of APC, and 1 polling unit in Basawa, Doma State constituency, Musa Ibrahim Abubakar of NMPP. The elections conducted in these various units were as a result of infractions witnessed during the last general elections, which led to a rerun directive by INEC. Speaker Jatau maintained that their victory has shown that they are the people's choice and called on their opponents to join hands with them for the progress and development of the state. Musa Ibrahim Abubakar of NMPP, who spoke on behalf of the 2 members, acknowledged Speaker Danladi Jatau and other lawmakers for their selfless and dedicated services towards uplifting the state when they were away. Meanwhile, Speaker had earlier embarked on assessment tour to various offices of the lawmakers to assess the state of facilities. He notes that there are a lot that needed to be done, especially in the area of maintenance.
In most of the offices, we still have need maintenance of some of the facilities in our offices, which I believe we will look into that, because we need to have a very comfortable atmosphere to operate. And what I've discovered, that the cleaners of this assembly, they have to sit up, because I've discovered some areas that are not properly cleaned.
In Lafia, Adams Abdul Kadri, NTA News.
After administering oaths of office and allegiance to 2 new members of Sokoto State House of Assembly, The members pledged to provide more dividends of democracy to the people of their constituencies and by extension the state. The legislators stated this while speaking to newsmen at the State Assembly Chamber in Sokoto. Nuruddin Adili has more.
After taking the oath of office and allegiance, the newly members of the Sokoto State House of Assembly, Bodingan of Abubakar Magaji Melgoma of PDP and that of Tambuwal West, Bashar Ahmad Dahiro of APC, the members sees Assembly as an institution that represents the common and collective interests of the citizens. Through lawmaking process, they will do everything humanly possible to make sure they represent the interests of their people. They promise to be good ambassadors of the good people they represent in the House and make sure that whatever they do or act on is the choice of the people they represent. The members also pledge to be people with listening ear and are ready to listen to the yearning and aspiration of the people of their constituencies.
The mandate given to me by the grace of God, I will make sure I deliver it properly and the way it is supposed to be delivered. I'll make sure that I bring all their problems that I know I am capable of handling. I'll handle it myself. The ones I cannot handle it, I'll bring it to the House to see how the House can come together to assist and solve their problems.
After taking the oath of office and oath of allegiance to the new members, the House adjourns sitting to tomorrow for the continuation of plenary. In Sokoto, Nuruddin Abdullah Adili, NTA News.
Bauchi State House of Assembly has passed a bill for the establishment of Farmers and Elders Board in the state. Nasarawa reports that this resolution was reached during the first plenary after weeks of recess.
In recent past, Bauchi State had its share of the farmers-herders clashes in some parts of the state. The clashes have continued to pose security threats and sources of concern to many stakeholders in the state. Bauchi State House of Assembly has now passed a bill for the establishment of Farmers and Herders Board, expecting to bring an end to the problem. The resolution reached after the House has received the report of the Joint Committee on Agriculture, Forestry and Environment on the bill. The board, when established, will work for the maintenance of grazing reserves, cattle routes, watering points, as well as management and prevention of conflicts between farmers and herdsmen, among others.
All the function of that committee is to look at what is going on within the animals and that for the farmers' herders.
The bill is now waiting for the assent of the state government for the full establishment of the board. In Bauchi, Nasir Umaturun, NTA News.
A motion seeking the ban of passage of styrofoams for food service storage and other related usage has been adopted by the Oyo State House of Assembly at its plenary. Correspondent Oyeyinka Omole reports on these and other proceedings on the floor of the House.
Presentation of committee report on the Oyo State Law Enforcement Bill 2023 and Real Properties Protection Bill 2023 opened the floor for clause-by-clause consideration of the bills before passage. The two bills, which focus on enforcing laws relating to real properties protection, health and environmental sanitation standards, traffic, anti-open grazing and other related matters, therefore scaled third reading.
The third reading of Oyo State's Real Properties Protection Bill. That was the third reading of Oyo State's Rule of Law Enforcement Authority Bill 2023, which has now been read for the third time and passed.
Still at the sitting, two motions adopted by the House were calling on the state government to intervene on indiscriminate bush burning and to expedite construction work on the 43.5-kilometer Shaki-Ogboro-Igboho Road in Okiogun area of the state.
Implements tickets, regulations, and penalties for individuals found engaging in bush burning activities, particularly in areas close to residential neighborhoods, and collaborate with relevant agencies
to ensure they remove every halt that have been standing as impediments toward the completion of such roads, so that to at least, if it's complete, to add more value to the state growth.
In Ibadan, Oyeyinka Omole, NTA News.
That's the size of our bulletin for today. Remember to log on to NTA Parliament on the platforms showing on your screen. On behalf of the production crew, many thanks for watching. I'm Ene Ojonugba. Have a good evening.